After years of suffering, deaths, and unanswered questions, the tragedy of Pandem Mlalahoi's family finally captured the attention of the entire nation. As public pressure grew, powerful leaders could no longer ignore the story. A special investigation was launched. Missing family members were suddenly being searched for, and somewhere far away, a young boy named Dick was living a life he never chose. But as the truth slowly began to emerge, one question remained. Could anything still be done to repair a family that had already lost almost everything? This is part 6 of The Price for Justice in My Motherland. After the tragic death of Mkapendeza, the story of Pandem Mlalahoi's family spread across the country. People spoke about the unlawful eviction, the endless court delays, the deaths within the family, and the woman who had thrown herself from the 3rd floor of the local council building after losing all hope in justice. For several days, the president remained silent. Then finally, back at the State House, he ordered the formation of a special probe team to investigate the truth behind the tragedy of Pandem Mlalahoi's family. The probe team was instructed to submit its report within 2 months. 2 months later, the report was handed to the president. After reading it carefully, the president made a decision. The local council director would not be dismissed. Instead, he was quietly transferred to a remote local council far from public attention. Soon afterward, a televised national announcement was released.
Any child of the late Pandem Mlalahoi is instructed to report immediately to the nearest state governor for further instructions.
The announcement spread rapidly across the country. Fortunately, all 3 daughters of Pandem Mlalahoi were eventually located and came forward. Gianna, Eglinsdal, and Roknoi. Only Mavea remained missing. Further investigations later revealed that Mavea had been imprisoned in a neighboring state after being convicted of stealing a goat. When the state governor informed the president about Mavea's situation, the president immediately ordered his unconditional release. Soon afterward, all 4 siblings were transported back to their home state and accommodated in a hotel, where they were instructed to await further directions from the authorities. For the first time in many years, Pandem Mlalahoi's children were reunited. But the reunion was overshadowed by grief. Upon returning home, they learned the full extent of the tragedy that had unfolded during their separation. Their mother, Mkapendeza, was dead, and little Dick had been adopted by the president himself. None of them had seen Dick since the day he was taken away. The president then ordered immediate payment of the court-awarded remedies, together with interest for delayed payment. The Court of Appeals taxing master reviewed the compensation amount and added 10% annual interest for a period of 3 years. The total amount rose from 95 million ingananas to 123,500,000 ingananas. The money was immediately transferred to the late Pandem Mlalahoi's bank account at Mturo Bank plc. Soon afterward, the court scheduled estate proceedings to determine lawful beneficiaries and appoint an estate administrator. Gianna was selected by her siblings and formally approved by the court as administrator of the estate. The lawful beneficiaries were identified as Gianna Pandem Mlalahoi, Eglinsdal Pandem Mlalahoi, Mavea Pandem Mlalahoi, and Roknoi Pandem Mlalahoi. Pandem Mlalahoi and Mkapendeza never received even a single coin of the court remedies. Does justice after death mean anything? When Pandem Mlalahoi's former lawyer learned about the released compensation, he immediately appeared before the court carrying an agreement signed years earlier by the late Mkapendeza. The agreement promised the lawyer 25% of the court remedies in exchange for handling the bill of costs and execution order application. The lawyer submitted his invoice. Including interest calculations, he claimed $30,875,000 in Gananas. Gianna reviewed the document silently. Then the amount was paid. After legal deductions, the remaining estate funds totaled $92,625,000 Gananas. The money was divided equally among the 4 children. Each received $23,156,250 Gananas. Every child opened an individual bank account where the money was deposited. The local council formally notified the shop tenants about the court ruling and the execution order requiring the immediate return of the shop rooms to the beneficiaries of the late Pandem Mlalahoi's estate. The tenants were shocked and frustrated by the short notice. Many had operated their businesses there for years and had no immediate alternative premises. Some attempted to resist the eviction, pleading for more time to relocate their businesses. However, the local council, acting under the authority of the court order and following directives from higher government offices, proceeded with the eviction. The tenants were eventually removed, despite their concerns about where they would continue their businesses. Once the premises had been vacated, the state governor was informed and began coordinating the formal handover of the properties to Pandem Mlalahoi's family. The handover process was completed remarkably quickly and without major complications. Much of this efficiency was attributed to the president's direct intervention in the matter. Without such intervention, the enforcement and transfer process could easily have been delayed for months, if not years, as had happened with many other stages of the family's long struggle for justice. The family's 8 shop rooms were also distributed equally. Each child inherited ownership of 2 rooms. After confirming the distribution, the court formally closed the estate proceedings. Legally, the long struggle of Pandem Mlalahoi's estate had finally ended. But emotionally, the wounds remained alive. Pandem Mlalahoi, Mkapendeza, and Pandem's mother never lived long enough to receive even a single coin from the court-awarded remedies. The compensation arrived too late for the people who had suffered most. Pandem died while waiting for justice to be enforced. Pandem's mother died while waiting for money to buy her a new home in her ancestral village. Mkapendeza died while still hoping that one day the court order would finally change their lives. Their deaths left behind a painful question. Does justice delivered after death still have any meaning? Yet despite this seemingly positive outcome, many wounds remained unhealed. The years of suffering had already destroyed lives, separated family members, and taken away opportunities that could never be recovered. And although the legal battle was finally over, the hardships facing Pandem Mlalahoi's children were far from finished. In many ways, another, more serious and intimidating struggle was only beginning.
Respect the law, defend justice, protect families.
Please subscribe to our channel and follow the continuation of this sad story in Part 7.